Hello friends, here the Inside Science has come up with the new initiative called Insta Geography for the prelims. Let's start with the initiative. See, before starting with the geography, we need to understand what are the things we need to study in the geography from the prelims perspective. First, beginning with the geomorphology. In the geomorphology, today we'll start with the geomorphology. So, before starting with the geomorphology, I'll list out what are the topics we need to study under the geomorphology. And before going to the geomorphology, we also need to see that there are certain things from the oceanography, climatology, soils. This is all these things are the form the core part of your geography. And apart from this core part of the geography, which is considered as a physical geography, where we are studying about the physical elements of the geography, let's say climate, let's say we are talking about the oceans, we are talking about the soils, all these are the comes under the physical geography. Apart from this, there is a human geography, where we study about the agricultures, mineral distribution, okay, infrastructure. In the infrastructure, we talk about the inland water communication, okay, transport schemes, okay, trade related schemes, all these things. And mapping, of course, mapping is very essential part of your geography. This is a general broad overview, and from here we'll start with the first topic of geomorphology. Look at here. These are the things we need to cover under the geomorphology. Under the geomorphology, what do we study? Under the geomorphology, we study about the evolution of the landforms. Okay. For that evolution of the landforms, there are different theories: continental drift theory, plate tectonic theory, seafloor spreading. These are the theories that are mentioned in your NCERTs. So we will study these theories in understanding the evolution of the landforms, right? After understanding the evolution of the landforms, every landform has its unique significance, right? Today itself we will discuss certain landforms. There you will understand significance of one landform. Let's say Himalayas, let's say Western coastal plains, let's say Western Ghats. Every landform has certain unique significance. Let's say in the Western Ghats you have certain kind of unique fauna, okay, where it is endemic only to that region. So in this way, every landform has certain kind of cultural and economical significance. That's why we need to study the landform in its independent form. And these landforms are formed because of certain geomorphic processes. What are these geomorphic processes? We will come up with these things. Okay. And apart from this, we also need to understand earthquakes, landslides, and volcanoes. And then we need to understand the different kinds of the rock systems. All these things form part of your geomorphology. And here we begin with our first topic. Let's begin with the very basic question. What is the geomorphology? What are the things we are going to study under geomorphology? What is its definition? See, in the geomorphology, as I have already mentioned, we are studying about the landforms. Okay, how these landforms have been evolved. Earlier, there was no idea about the Earth. Okay, our Earth has been formed some 4.5 billion years ago. But before some 17th century, everyone were thinking that some kind of supernatural force have created this Earth. Okay, so it was just a few years ago. Okay, all these things have been formed. Okay, later on, few thinkers have come up. Okay, let's say Alfred Wegener is one such thinker. Okay, he said that no, this landforms evolution has been taken over a millions of years. It was not formed just few years ago. It has formed over a millions of years ago. Okay, in this way we are studying the evolution of the landform. So certain theories has come up. Recent theory is plate tectonics theory. This theory not only explains how the landforms have been evolved, it also explains what are the processes that are leading to the formation of these landforms. Okay, we'll study these things in detail. Now we are talking so much lot about the landforms. Okay, what are these landforms is about? See, landforms are all those things which we see on the earth surface. Okay, let's say you see plateaus, let's say you will see plains, let's say you see any other things, mountains. All the features which we see on this earth surface are called the landforms. Now these landforms are shaped up by different kinds of processes. Those processes are called the geomorphic process. These processes are continuously shaping the your landform. So those processes we call the geomorphic process. Let's go bit detail about these things. If you look at here, geomorphic processes are those processes which shape the landform. It can be classified into the endogenetic forces and the exogenetic forces. Here I have just mentioned about the only endogenetic forces. Those forces are classified as a diastrophic forces and catastrophic forces. Now these are the landforms I was talking about. See here, this is a volcanic landform. These are the glaciers and their landforms, valleys, lakes, rivers, deltas, deserts, everything. Okay, all these are considered to be a landforms. We'll study, right? In our syllabus, you have river landforms, glacial landforms, aeolian landforms, coastal landforms. Everything we need to study, right? We also study in general perspective glacial landforms, and we also study landforms of Indian physiography, right? We study about Himalayas, we study about western coastal plains, we study about Eastern Ghats, etc. Okay, today itself we are also going to study your Western Ghats and coastal plains. But before understanding that landforms, we need to have a basic idea about these geomorphic processes and their classifications. Okay, we are talking a lot about this uh, landforms, but for the landforms to understand, we need to see what are those processes that are involved in the origin and evolution of the landforms. This is very important classification of geomorphic process. If you see, as I have already mentioned, geomorphic process can be divided into endogenetic and the exogenetic. Now, what is this endogenetic forces? Or endogenetic forces are those forces which are deriving energy from within the Earth's surface. See, later on we will discuss about the interior of the Earth's surface. In the interior of our Earth's surface is like having various kinds of the layers, and as we go inside the Earth's surface, the temperatures are increasing rapidly, and at the core, you have temperatures of the 6,000 degrees centigrade. So, this high temperature, because of the radioactive elements that are present in the Earth's surface, is acting some kind of driving force. So, this force, this energy that is trapped inside the Earth's surface, that comes out of the Earth's surface. Sometimes it comes in a catastrophic format like earthquakes, like volcanoes, tsunamis, such kind of force that has been coming out of the Earth's surface, or sometimes it comes in a kind of slow force. Okay, it is not perceptible to your eyes. Okay, very slowly, which you cannot see. Those forces are called as a diastrophic forces. Again, these diastrophic forces further can be classified into the epirogenetic and the orogenetic forces. Now, epirogenetic forces are those forces which are acting perpendicular to the Earth's surface. Let's say this is the Earth, and the forces are acting upward. Let's say your western coastal plain. Okay, these coastal plains have been subducted. Okay, you can call this as a kind of subsidence force. Okay, and in the same way, let's say your North Europe region, during the times of the Pleistocene period, there was a huge glaciation in the whole of the Europe region. Okay, so in these regions there was a complete glacial activity. When these glaciers have been receded, so slowly again this region have got uplifted. Okay, this led to the formation of the certain seas like North Sea, Baltic Sea. Certain regions have been formed. This is called the upliftment. So these things are not forming just today and tomorrow. Let's say you never see, right? Today you have seen Himalayas with some 8,000 meters of height, and tomorrow you will not see Himalayas of some 100 meters of height, right? Suddenly you will not see a kind of mountain in front of your house. See, these processes, whatever the process that are going on, these processes happen very slowly. So these processes which are happening very slowly, we call it as a diastrophic forces. And the forces, if happen very rapidly, then we call it as a catastrophic forces. Things are clear, very easy, nothing complicated till now, right? So again, these forces can be divided into the, as I mentioned, epirogenetic. These are those forces that are acting perpendicularly, vertically to the Earth surface, from the within the Earth surface. These can cause upliftment or subsidence. One such example of the subsidence is your western coastal plains. One such kind of upliftment is your North European regions. Okay, where after the Pleistocene ices, during time of the Pleistocene, we have the heavy glaciation. When these glaciers have been receded, okay, again there was a upliftment in our North European region. Okay, Baltic Sea, those things that have been formed in those at those times. Okay, this is your epirogenetic forces. Now, orogenetic forces. Orogenetic forces are those forces which are acting tangential. I have told you epirogenetic are acting vertical. Now these forces are acting tangential. So what is happening? Let's say there is a crust here, some kind of force acting tangential. It is causing a kind of compression. Okay, so this is one kind of force called the tensional force. Okay, if the same force is acting horizontally but in opposite directions, okay, let's say this is the way it is acting, then it is causing a kind of tension here. So it will lead to the crack, and this crack over a period of time will result in the formation of some kind of fault. So there will be a kind of fault will be formed, and those faults are called the normal fault. Let's say this is the block, it is there. Okay, and when there is a kind of tensional forces, so it results into the formation of such kinds of features. These are called rift valleys, and these uplifted blocks are called host. Okay, this has been formed because of an tensional force. Okay, the forces, the horizontal forces are acting horizontally but in opposite direction. Okay, so here the normal faults have been formed. These, when you have the compressional forces acting horizontally but in same direction, then this can cause you reverse fault. Okay, let's say Himalayas. In the Himalayas, there is a compressional forces. Initially there is a kind of folding activities going on. As the folding becomes intense, it results into the reverse. We will understand these things with a proper slides. Now the same classification, if you look at here, so as I've discussed, epirogenetic forces are causing emergence and subsidence. Example, your west coastal plains. These west coastal plains are nothing but your submergent plains. Okay, whereas the Kerala is the emergent plains. That is the only exception you have in the west coastal plain. Okay, then we have the orogenetic forces. As I have mentioned, the orogenetic forces can be tensional and compressional forces. Now, what are those forces that are causing folding? That is called the compression force. Take a paper in your hand, just push from the both the sides. That will cause kind of folding. That is called compressional forces. And let's say you are pulling the paper apart, then that will cause a kind of fault. Same with happen will happen when it happens with the crust. It will result in the formation of the rift valleys or else block mountains. What are such examples? See here, valley, your great East African rift valleys, Satpuras and Vindhyas. Now you need to understand here, such kinds of faults can be formed by because of any region. Let's say your Indian peninsular plate, when hitting with the Himalayas, just our peninsular plate got cracked and formed a kind of rifts. So in those rifts you are having the Narmada and Tapi. But there could be one more reason. The rift valleys could also be formed by the reason of the plate tectonics. When we study the plate tectonics, we understand that there are different types of the margins called the divergent and convergent plate margins. We will understand those. At the divergent plate margins, your plates are being broken up. That is the example at the East African Rift Valley. And here one most important prelims bit you need to remember is this East African Rift Valley is associated with the volcanoes. That is important for your prelims. Whereas your Rift Valleys of Narmada and Tapi, they don't have any volcanoes, right? They are generally valleys because these are formed by normal breaking. Okay, normal fault. Okay, so as I mentioned, compression forces create the reverse fault. See, in the Himalayas, you have seen the Indus Angkor Sachar zone. Then you have seen the MCT, main boundary fault, main central thrust, Himalayan frontal faults. These are the reverse. These are the reverse faults, right? This is very important for your prelims point of view. We will, when we study about the Indian Himalayan physiography, we will understand what are these. These are nothing but in these zones your Himalayas has been formed. Okay, these are the zones where the upliftment of the greater Himalayas, lesser Himalayas, Shivaliks have taken place. So these are very weak zones. Because of the intense compression and compression, suddenly a kind of fault has been developed. Then that is called the reverse fault. We will look at them in detail very soon. But understand, this is the zone where, let's say, this is a your Eurasian plate, and this is your Indo-Australian plate. Here there is some kind of convergence is going on, and this is your greater Himalayas, this is your lesser Himalayas, and this is Shivaliks. Okay, at this zone you have the reverse fault because of the intense compression. Here there is fusion of Indian plate and the your Eurasian plate is happening. Okay, so this is zone of ITSZ. Okay, here the Indus River is flowing, and this zone is your one more reverse fault zone. Okay, that is called the MCT, between the greater Himalaya and lesser Himalaya. And this is between the lesser Himalaya and Shivaliks, you have the MBF. And between the Shivaliks and your Gangetic plains, you have Himalayan frontal fault. We will see these things again later on. Just I am trying to link various things. Okay, reverse faults are also formed because of your compressional forces. So there are two types of the faults. One is normal fault and another is reverse fault. Okay, normal fault is formed because of your tensional forces. Reverse fault has been formed because of the compressional forces. Where do you see such kind of reverse faults? Where there is intense compression. First, initially normal compression. When there is normal compression, it leads to the folding. When there is so much of the compression, the folding will become intense, and it will break and result in the kind of reverse fault. Okay, so this I want you to understand. Now look at here. So this is the compressional forces. So this is the crust you have. from here and here the forces are adding. So because the forces are adding, okay, see a kind of fold has been created, this kind of fold. If you see this fold here, the fold, the upper part is called the anticline and this valley kind of part is called the syncline. Now what will happen if the more and more kind of compression has been applied, it will break and results into kind of reverse fault. So things are clear here till now. Okay, easy, nothing much. Compressional forces causing fold, when tensional forces causing fault, excess compression causing reverse fault. Simple. Okay, let's move to next. See here, have a look. See here, when is a normal fault is forming? See, the forces, the orogenitive forces are acting in the opposite direction. Those forces are called the tensional forces. So the fault, this break is called the fault. See here, when the same forces is acting in the when the forces are acting in the same direction, this is causing the compression and it is causes the reverse fault. If you can see here, here in the normal cases generally width is increasing than the actual thing. In the reverse fault, whatever the actual size is there, from that size width will decrease. So you just understand this much. Normal fault is caused in the tensional forces, reverse fault is formed in the compressional forces. So if I sum up here geomorphic processes, we have seen two types of the processes, endogenetic process and exogenetic processes. I have not touched exogenetic processes yet. Okay, I have just discussed the endogenetic process. I have discussed endogenetic processes are two types, diastrophic and catastrophic. Catastrophic are those suddenly coming out, earthquakes, volcanoes, these things we'll deal it later. So we have discussed about the endogenetic forces. Within the endogenetic forces, we have discussed about the diastrophic forces. Then within diastrophic, we have discussed the epirogenetic and the orogenetic. Epirogenetic are the vertical forces, subsidence, emergence. Okay, let's say your Dwarka has been in the Gujarat region, the most important cultural place. Okay, it has been subsided in the water. This is called the subsidence. Okay, and there is a emergence. Okay, this is one epirogenetic forces. Then there is a orogenetic forces. In the orogenetic forces, the forces are either acting away from each other, that is causing tension, or it is causing towards each other, causing compression. So here, what are the different landforms we have seen? We have seen a kind of normal fault and reverse fault. When we have seen normal fault, okay, we have seen the formation of the block mountains as well. Okay, so here itself, during the normal fault, this is nothing but the Rift Valley zone and the uplifted portion is called the block mountain. And here itself we have discussed it, what is the example of the block mountain. Your Satpura and Vindhyas are the examples of your block mountains. Okay, and we have seen during times of the compressional forces, the mountains are formed are called the fold mountains. Okay, these are your Himalayas. Okay, even in the compressional forces, there can be a kind of reverse fault because of the excessive compression. Okay, so these are reverse faults are formed. Simple, clear. So wherever these faults are there, already broken up. Okay, so these are more prone to the earthquakes, these are more prone to the landslides. Now you understood, right, why Himalayas are more prone to the earthquakes and volcanoes. Okay, and the landslides are more available in the Himalayas region, while in the Western Ghats you will not see such kinds of the weak zones as you see such kind in the Himalayas. We will discuss all these things later on. Just I'm trying to link you. Do not worry if you don't understand the Himalayas and all. We will discuss all those things are individual topics. I'm just here trying to connect the landforms associated with the force. Okay, easy, simple. Let's move to the next. Here we try to understand Indian physiography. Since we have already discussed the examples of Western coastal plains, I want to finish it off here itself about the coastal plains, our West and East coastal plains, and then we'll also discuss about our Western Ghats. Okay, so starting with the main physiography, Western Ghats. So from here, everything can be a kind of prelims bit. Okay, so here in the Western Ghats, I want you to understand Western Ghats are mountains for us, but in general they are not uh, considered as a mountains. They are just western parts of your Deccan plateau. So what was happened during the evolution of our Indian peninsula? Let's say this is your Indian peninsula. Okay, here the rift has been created. Okay, and the left part has got subducted. Okay, in this way. Okay, now from here, if you stand here, okay, this is appearing as a kind of mountain, right? So this is nothing but your western block. and this is nothing but your Western Ghats. So it is appearing as a kind of mountain. But in actual, if you move from this side, okay, if you are coming from the eastern part, you don't see such kind of mountain appearance. Okay, only from west when you are starting on the coastal plain, for you it appears as a kind of mountain. So how it has happened when Indian plate was hit by during the formation of the Himalayas and all, your western part of your Indian peninsula in this journey, it has been subducted below the Indian Ocean. Okay, so it's your Western Ghats appearing as a kind of mountain. So you have understood the origin genesis. So that is why your Western Ghats in general is not considered as a mountain. They are just a kind of escarpment that has been formed because of the subduction of the western part of your the then existing. Now it is not there. Then it used to be a kind of huge block like this. It got subducted and it has resulted in this kind of formation. Now I want you to understand your sequence of your Western Ghats. Your Western Ghats height is like this. It is first higher, again it decreases, and again it increases. At the Goa, it is decreasing its height, and again it is increasing. Your Western Ghats is passing through 6 states. What are those 6 states? Okay, you need to find out. This was already asked in the previous year UPSC question. Your Western Ghats, as it is being found here, okay, it is moving from the south of the Tapi towards the Kanyakumari region till here. Okay, from here towards the here. Okay, from here it is coming towards like this, and then at the Goa, as I have shown here, here the height will decrease, and again here the height increases. What is the highest part of the Western Ghats in entire peninsula? It is found here. Okay, it in the Annamalai. The highest peak it is Annai Mudi. Okay, now your Western Ghats can be divided into three divisions. Okay, you can be divided into the northern part, central part, and the southern part. In the northern part, we can consider the highest part is a Kalsubai region. In the central part, it is a Kudremukh, and in the southern part is a Annai Mudi. Okay, so apart from this, certain prelims facts you need to understand here are, unlike our eastern Ghats, western Ghats are very continuous. See here, from here to north to south, you will see only few kinds of the gaps. Here there is a Thalghat gap. Here you have the Borghat gap. Okay, in the same way, here you have the Palghat gap, and here you have the Shenkota gap. So these four passes are very important from your prelims point of view. Thalghat connects the Mumbai towards the Nashik region, and the Borghat connects the Mumbai towards your Pune region. So this is one point you need to understand, and you also need to understand uh, your your southwest monsoons escape through these passes, and it creates a rainfall in the rain shadow regions. Here you have generally the Coimbatore region. Here you have the Madurai region. Okay, these regions also get rainfall. Generally these are the rain shadow regions, but these also get the rainfall in the southwest monsoon. Rest of your Tamil Nadu region, it receives the rainfall from the northeast direction, so it can also be the potential bit. Madurai, Coimbatore receives the rainfall even in the by the southwest monsoons. Okay, clear, easy. Here itself I am trying to connect with the southwest monsoons. Okay, let's say your monsoon rainfall, southwest monsoons are coming from Indian Ocean region towards this Western Ghats. Your monsoon rainfalls are kind of orographic rainfalls. It means only when there is height, certain uh, elevation is there, then only it tries to climb up, and then condensation cooling activity will happen, and then it results in the kind of rainfall. If there is no such kind of elevation is available, there is no rainfall. Now Western Ghats have good amount of the elevation. Okay, so it results in very high rainfall, 300 centimeters, 250 and 200 centimeters. As a result, these regions, these Western Ghats is having tropical evergreen forest. So very high biodiversity, tropical evergreen forest, good amount of rainfalls. So there should be a good flora and fauna here, right? So this is very important significance and ecologically sensitive area that you need to understand here. So few prelims bits. Okay, it extends from Tapi to Kanyakumari. It extends in 6 states. Okay, and the northern part has a kind of basaltic lava. Okay, we'll see the Deccan Plateau has uh, magma eruption, and so this region has been covered by the basalt. Okay, this basalt is good for the cotton cultivation. Okay, so the northern part, the basalt erosion, it has led to the kind of step-like topography. This can also be a potential prelims bit. Okay, so you have this kind of pattern in the northern parts of your Western Ghats. Okay, then I have discussed already about the Thal Ghat. Okay, I have discussed about the Pal Ghat and Shenkota Gap. And then one more important principle is Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats meets at a point called Doda Betta in the Nilagiri Hills. South of this, there are no Eastern Ghats, only Western Ghats are there. We have discussed already Anamalai ranges, okay, and then Shenkota, okay, or Cardamom Hills, okay. So these are the things that are available south of the Nilgiris. Now here, few more points. See, as I have already mentioned, Northern Sahyadri has highest point Kalsubai. Okay, while in the middle ranges there is a Kudremukh. This is the highest point, and it is also famous for the iron ores. In the southern region, Anaimude is the highest point. As I have already mentioned, this is a very important zone. It also comes under the hotspot. Okay, we have totally 4 hotspots, right, in the India. Okay, so Western Ghats is one such hotspot. So there is a huge importance of ecological importance. So then a committee was established. Okay, one thing is a Kasturi Rangan committee. Okay, and then another is a Madhav Gadgil committee. See, so these things need to be protected when there is a very high biodiversity. Okay, it has to be protected, else it can cause a crisis. So how to be protected? Then a Western Ghats ecological panel called Madhav Gadgil committee has been established. Then it says that see, all the 100% of our Western Ghats are very fragile and there are ecologically sensitive, and whole of this area needs to be protected. How needs to be protected? Declare a tag called ecologically sensitive zones. Okay, here whatever the developmental activity, they should be properly regulated. This is what your Kasuri Madhav Gadgil committee has said. Okay, then came, but these recommendations as usual not implemented. Okay, then came the Kasturi Rangan committee. It has said at least, chalo, 37%. Please bring 37% into the ecologically sensitive zone. Okay, even that thing also not happened. Okay, even till now that has not happened. See, recently there was also this news. Okay, Wayanad Sanctuary. Okay, these are having good tiger population. Okay, but they are not being declared as a tiger reserve because locals are opposing. So it is very much important for bringing the locals participation uh, in the conservation of your animals or protection of your biodiversity, whatever the things. Okay, so certain important animals here you need to understand is Malabar civet, great hornbill, and the lion-tailed macaque. This Malabar civet is a critically endangered animal. It is endemic to the Western Ghats. Even the lion-tailed macaque is also endemic to the Western Ghats. Great hornbill. Okay, this is not critically endangered. Just I want to show you that this great hornbills, it was also a previous year question. It is found both in the northeast region and in the Western Ghats. They can just trap you. Okay, this great hornbill is found only in the northeast. Okay, great hornbill festival. It is celebrated by the Nagaland region. So you might get confused. Okay, this belongs to the northeast region. No, it is also found even in the Western Ghats. So certain important animals I have given. So these Western Ghats are also important, known for the west flowing rivers. It is the origin for numerous rivers, right? Even Krishna, Godavari also originating here. Okay, certain west flowing rivers are also originating here. We will see west flowing rivers are very, very important for your prelims perspective. So whatever the things I have discussed till now, each and everything can be a kind of prelims bit. Okay, I have tried to incorporate even the current affairs here along with the environmental aspects here. Okay, let's move on to the next. We can also discuss our Western Ghats in comparison with your Eastern Ghats. See, Eastern Ghats are your old fold mountains. Western Ghats I have discussed already, they are not mountains. Okay, they appear to be a kind of mountains because of the subduction of the Western block. Okay, but your Eastern Ghats are generally fold mountains because formed because of the compression forces. Very old time, very they're not, your Himalayas are the very young mountains. Okay, these are formed during times of in the Paleozoic periods. Okay, we'll discuss those Paleozoic, Mesozoic, Cenozoic later on. Okay, you understand that these are very old fold mountains. Now these have been completely eroded by the rivers. One more bit here you need to understand is these Eastern Ghats are not continuous. Okay, they have been completely eroded by the rivers. Let's say they are not even found during at the Krishna and Godavari delta. See, that is the important bit. So they are fold mountains. Okay, uh, and they don't extend south of the Nilgiri, which I have already discussed. Now that's all about your Western Ghats. Now before going to the some other landform, okay, let's say our next landform will be coastal plains. So the western parts of the Western Ghats is the western coastal plains, and eastern parts of your Eastern Ghats are the eastern coastal plains. Here I wanted to understand, as I've already discussed, the western margins have been subducted. The west part of the Western Ghats have been subducted under the oceans. Okay, so these are the submergent parts. Okay, the submergent parts that are flowing below the sea. Okay, so here I wanted to understand, uh, whenever there is a kind of submergent activities, estuaries are formed. When there is a emergent kind of activity that is found in the east coast, there the deltas are formed. So I want you to look at here, your estuaries. So what are these estuaries? Let's say, see, it is clearly visible in the diagram. See, look at this. These are the your estuaries. So these are nothing kind of water bodies where rivers, generally if the rivers travel towards a long distances, what will happen? The deposition will take place. Rivers will carry huge sediments with them. So over a bit of time, rivers will not have a energy to carry the sediments with them. So it will deposit these things, these sediments at the mouth of the river. Okay, where the river joins towards the sea, there it does deposition. If such deposition is happening and if the landform is forming, then we call it as a delta. But if you look at here, there is no such kind of deposition. Still a water is flowing here. Okay, here if you see the sea, okay, here again still there is water. Okay, these water bodies we call it as a estuaries. There is no silt. Okay, if see, if such this kind of things will be found everywhere. If those things will be found only when the slope is very gentle. Okay, there the river will not be able to flow, and whatever the sediments are there, it will directly deposit. The slopes is very steep in your western Ghats. From the western Ghats to the western coastal plains, the slopes are very steep. So you will see the estuaries. These are the submergent activities, submergent boundaries. So here itself, you need to see these estuaries will have a unique kind of vegetations. Okay, let's say sometimes there can be also mangroves that is all found in your uh, West Bengal regions. So these estuaries is also a kind of transitional zones between two different water bodies. See, this is a river, it is a freshwater body. This is a sea, it is a brackish saline water body. So this is a kind of transitional zone. It is also considered as a very important concept for prelims. Remember, ecotone. Okay, ecotone are the transitional zones between the two types of different bodies. Here river body, here a freshwater body. Here it is a saline water body where the salt content is more. This is a marshy body. The saline content will be between this and this. Okay, so these such kind of transitional bodies are considered as a ecotone. You can mangroves is one such examples. Mangroves are the vegetation that are found in these estuaries. Okay, these are very highly productive. Since these are the kind of brackish, certain kinds of unique animals are found here which are adaptable to these conditions. So conservation of estuaries are equally very important because these are highly bioproductive zones. Clear? So these are the things I have been trying to uh, explain here. So estuaries are water bodies where rivers are joining the marine bodies. So salinity varies, formed when slopes are steep or rise in the sea level happens. Example, west coast. Okay, I have discussed. Okay, west coast, the western blocks have been subducted, so the slopes are steep. So there you will have a kind of estuaries. These are the marshy regions, ecotones, and the highly bioproductive regions. Now we will see the deltas. So deltas are nothing but the fine sedimentary depositions. Okay, they are triangle in shape. Where do you see? Let's say you have a Himalayan river. Okay, so it is formed somewhere here. River is traveling, and then finally it is the slope becomes very gentle. It will not able to carry the sediments. All the sediments that you hear, the river has been eroding all these things. It is carrying with them, and it is depositing here. Okay, so it is forming the delta. Okay, here the sediments are very fine, and these sediments are very fine that are suitable for the agriculture. Okay, because of the sediments that are being carried out, and here the soil is very fertile, and agriculture, triple rice cropping is also possible here. Let's say your KG basin, okay, Kaveri basin, where there is a triple rice cultivation can also happen. Cropping pattern is very unique there. Okay, so this is the deltas. Okay, these are triangular in shape. Okay, if the same kind of deposition in a triangular shape can also be seen in the foothills of the mountains, here also they can see. Okay, these are called the alluvial fans. These are not fertile. Okay, unlike your deltas where you have the fine sediments, very chota both fine chota particles. Okay, at the foothills of the mountains, the sediments are very heavy boulders. Okay, big very heavy boulders are found like Babbar regions in your Himalaya, in the regions of Himalayas. Let's say you do river rafting, right? You might have seen it in the movies, or else any kind of YouTube videos. Okay, heavy boulders are there. Okay, rivers, I mean the rivers. Okay, water is just flowing, jumping. Okay, rapids. Okay, such kind of boulders activities are found. These are called Babbar zones in the Indian example. Okay, these are not suitable for the cultivation, and also not forestry and agriculture activity is not available there. Okay, so this is a delta region. So I think the difference between delta and estuary is very clear. uh, if the prelims question can be asked, if the prelims question is asked here, okay, if they are based on the differences or anything, they can ask you in any way. Okay, this is the concept. They can trick you in any way based on the agriculture practice, based on the based on the biological productivity. They can trick you in any way. I think I have given the broader perspective. Okay, let's move to the next area. Now, as I have mentioned, your Western Ghats are known for the numerous rivers. Okay, one few rivers are flowing eastwards and few rivers are flowing in the west direction. So these west flowing rivers, some of the west flowing rivers are very important. Okay, Mandovi River. Okay, this Mandovi River is known for Dudhsagar Falls. They can be very important prelims bit. Okay, match the following. Okay, Dudhsagar Falls they can give you and ask you to uh, on which river these Dudhsagar Falls are there, or they can ask you the list of the rivers and they can tell you identify which river is flowing westwards or which is not flowing westwards. So these are the very important west flowing rivers. So since Dudhsagar Falls I have given, I have also thought to give you Duduma Falls. Okay, this is not the west flowing river, this is east flowing river, but you can have the confusion here over this waterfalls. So I have tried to link those things. Okay, Duduma Falls and Dhuadhar Falls. Okay, these are found on the Narmada River. Now here comes one more important western flowing river called Sharavati. This is found in the Karnataka region. Here you have the Jog Falls. Okay, and this is the second highest plunge falls, and there is the first highest plunge falls that is found in the near the Cherrapunji region, that is called Noakhali. Okay, the spelling is mistaken. Okay, you can check it out there. Okay, these are the first very largest plunge falls. Second is the Jog Falls. Very important. Already prelims questions has been asked from this. Okay, now Cherrapunji is also famous for some other thing, for the highest rainfall region. Okay, you can just have a little bit Google over this. Okay, then Narmada River is also very important. It is very much in the news because Narmada River is being diverted for the Saurashtra region under the Sauni project, inter-river linking project, and also there is for the dam construction and all. There is a opposition is going on. Okay, so Narmada River is also in very much news, and then Zuari River is also very much important river in the Goa. It also has a port called Marmagaon. Okay, so very important river. All these west flowing rivers are very important. Already few brilliant bits have come from these areas. Now here you have the two more rivers, Netravati and Periyar River. See, Periyar River is new in news because of the two things. One thing is a Mullaperiyar Dam. It is a controversy between the Kerala and the Tamil Nadu region. And there is a Idukki Dam. During the time of the Kerala floods, it was also in the news. So they can ask you, this was in the news last year, right? They can ask you Mullaperiyar Dam and Idukki Dam. It is found on which river? Okay. And then one more important west flowing river is Pampa River. This is also west flowing river. It is also in the news because it flows through the Sabarimala temple. These are the kind of questions that are asking. They are asking you the river. Okay, which national park is flowing through this river? Which kind of dam is present in over this river? So these are the kind of questions. Okay, if they are in the news, we should very much focus on them. Okay, here I am trying to link you with both the static part. Okay, wall geography. I have tried to link the wall geography with the application part on the Indian geography, and again on the Indian geography, I am also trying to bring up the current affairs. This is how you should try to study your geography. Then it becomes very interesting and you will not forget, and it is not a monotonous and it is an interesting subject. See here, there is a this Periyar river is facing a kind of pollution because the since it is facing a pollution, this Central Water Commission has said that there should be a proper ecological flow. Okay, what does ecological flow means? Whenever there is a proper ecological flow means normal flow of the water. It should not be obstructed by construction of the dams and all. If there is a normal flow is maintained, rivers has its own healing and cleaning capacity. Okay, now who is the organization that checks this ecological flow is being maintained or not? That is a Central Water Commission. It comes under the Ministry of the Jal Shakti. Very important prelims bit. Who is the body that that looks over this ecological flow? Clear? Now we shall start our coastal plains topic. Okay, very important. Please focus, and you can also note down few bits here. Everything can be a kind of prelims bit. See here, the western parts of your Western Ghats. These are the western coastal plains, and these eastern parts of your Eastern Ghats are the eastern coastal plains. Can you see here? These are the narrow, and these are broader in nature. Okay, why? Because you have certain kinds of the east flowing rivers from here. Okay, Godavari, Krishna. These are forming huge big deltas here. So generally, the east coastal plains are having bigger wide deltas. Okay, but western coastal plains you have very narrow, the rivers forming in the western ghats they cannot travel the large distances and it results in the formation of the estuaries. Now you can ask me, so sir, but narmada and tapi also flows towards the longer distances, why don't they form the delta? Okay, but I have already discussed this, narmada and tapi are flowing in the rift valleys. Okay, these rift valleys are very hot blocks. Okay, there the sediments are not being generated, so there is no deltas in the western margins of your Indian peninsula. So I want you to here understand the western coastal plains is the submergent part. I have already discussed. Okay, the eastern coastal part is the emergent block. See, now submergent means it is flowing under the water. So here the flow of water is more. So here these are the regions available for the erosion. Okay, so these features we have the more rugged topography because coastal waves are continuously acting because it is a submerged region. Okay, while the eastern part it is a smooth because they are emergent part, they are not available for the erosion activity, and they are also since having the gentle slope. This you here you find the depositional zones like beaches. Okay, in the western parts you don't find some more kind of beaches. Where you find beaches, it is found in the Malabar region where you have the emergent kind of region. Okay, this is an exception. This is one more important prelims bit. Everything is a kind of prelims bit here. So here I wanted to explain you one more thing. Okay, this is very important point. Western coastal plains have the wide continental shelves and eastern coastal plains have narrow compared to the western coastal plains. Generally, wherever you have the large deltas, there you have the good amount of continental shelves. What are these continental shelves? Continental shelves are nothing but the submerged part of the continent. This is where, let's say, you are playing in the beach. Okay, this is where, and slightly you're trying to play with the waves and going inside and going inside. Now that part is called the continental shelves. These parts are nothing but the actually they are the blocks of the continent now under the water. How it can be under the water? Because submergence or rise of the sea level has happened. So in the western part, rise of the sea level has happened, submergence is happening, so continental part has been subducted. That is the reason you have the broader continental shelves. In the eastern parts, rivers are depositing sediments. So slowly, over a period of time, wherever you see deposition activities, there you can you can see enlarging of the continental shelves. For now, we have western coastal plains as a wider continental shelves. In the future, we can have the eastern coastal plains. Maybe after a few million years, because of the huge deposition, you can have the wider continental shelves. Now, why these continental shelves are important? See, these are the regions are having energy resource. Okay, oil, natural gas, and then also having boulders, okay, gravels for the construction purposes. Okay, and then they have the gas hydrates, methane gas hydrates. So continental shelves are huge important significance. We'll see later on when we move into the topics of the oceanography. But here you need to understand the western coastal plains are the submergent, and so they have the natural harbors and they have the wide continental shelves. As we have already seen, the southwest monsoons are coming in the from the western are coming over the western coastal region, and the northeast monsoons are coming in the eastern coastal regions. Easy, very easy, and very important for the prelims. We are trying to link up everything. Okay, nothing difficult till here. Just linking up the things very easy. Now here we try to get some more information on each and every coastal plain. See here, Gujarat plains. Okay, so Gujarat plains you have seen, right? See these Gujarat plains, the northern part you have the saline, salty, marshy regions. See, this is the part of the Gujarat. Okay, this is the part of the great ran of Kutch, and this is the little ran of Kutch. This is the salty regions because of the tidal waters and all. Okay, you have the alkaline soils. Okay, and then here this is the Saurashtra province. Okay, here you have the, because of the basaltic flow, here you have the black soil. Okay, whenever there is a black soil, it is suitable for the cotton cultivation because these black soils are generally fertile. Okay, so these are the certain important things. And then here itself we try to connect a certain important wild animals. Here you have the wild ass, okay, present here. Okay, and then here there is one important biosphere reserve also available. Can you just tell me in the comments which is the important biosphere reserve that is present here, and also the important wetland is also present here? You need to check it out. We just try to connect the different things. I'll provide you some other information. See here, so here in the great ran of the Kutch there is called flamingo cities flamingos are kind of birds. Okay, here in the Andabate Island, there is a mass congregation of these flamingo birds. Okay, then we are just not to confuse. I have given one more note here. There is a flamingo festival that happens in the Nelapattu Sanctuary. This Nelapattu Sanctuary is very important. This is found where? It is found near the Pulicat Lake. Okay, location of the Pulicat Lake, it is also important for your prelims part. So Saurashtra province, I have told you. Okay, from these are generally the grasslands. Now here, these grasslands are called the Bunny grasslands, and in these Bunny grasslands, there is a kind of tribe living here that is called the Maldari tribe, and these Maldari tribe are taking care of the your Gir lions. These Gir lions are found in the Gir wildlife sanctuaries. These are the only place where your Asiatic Gir lions are found. Now, so if there is only one place for the any animal to present, there can be inbreeding, and finally slowly the genetic diversity will be lost. If there is no diversity, it is a threat to the any kind of being or ecosystem. So they are trying to relocate this some of the lions from Gir region towards the Kunho sanctuary, okay, in the which is present in the Madhya Pradesh. So very important, where do you find this Kuno protected area? They can ask you. So now for one more point, see here, these things should be utilized in the mains. How the local peoples, Maldhari tribe, are protecting the your the Gir lions. Okay, when the local people are involved, the protection will be very good. See, lions are also helping you. A few more important point I want to tell you: lions are more social than your tiger. Okay, and your Asiatic lions are generally smaller in size compared to your African lions. These are also very important prelims bit. So here, Narmada River is being diverted through inter-river linking project called the Sauni project. I have already discussed. It provides the river water for this Saurashtra region and also few southern parts of the Rajasthan. Here then comes the water. Narmada River becomes very important. Its tributaries. You have to see what are the tributaries of the Narmada River, and also one more important dam here is Sardar Sarovar Dam project. Okay, that is very important project on the Narmada. It is also in the news. And then next plain is the Konkan plains from Daman to Goa, and then Kanra plains from Goa to the Mangalore. Okay, these are the very narrowest part. See, wherever you have good amount of the rivers and its deposition, there you have the widest plains. Okay, generally, relatively, Kerala and Gujarat are having the broader plains, and Canara plains from Goa to Mangalore region. It is the most narrowest of everyone. Now here we have the Malabar plains. I have discussed this is an exception. Okay, this is the emergent plains. These are widest because of the deposition happening. So since there is a deposition and all, we can find the beaches as well as the lagoons. So three important lakes here is the Sassamkota Lake, Vembanad Lake, and the Astamudi Lake. Sassamkota Lake is the largest freshwater lake of the Kerala. Which is the largest freshwater lake for the India? Okay, is it Vular? Just check it out. Okay, is it Vular? Then we have also one more important lake in the your Jammu and Kashmir region. Okay, that is called Jhelum. Can you tell me how come the glacial lakes are found? Not sorry, glacial lakes. The saline lakes are found in the Jammu and Kashmir region. How come saline lakes? Okay, can you think it of? Okay, we'll deal these things in the upcoming classes. But just can you think of? I have just tried to link up here things. Okay, then there is one more important lake, Vembanad Lake. Here the Nehru Boat Trophy race will happen, and there is one more lake called Assamudi Lake. All the three are the Ramsar sites. Now, what are these Ramsar sites? As you all know, recently 10 more sites have been added. Can you check it out? Which is the region which is having more area under the wetlands as per the recent Forest Survey of India? That is Gujarat, right? And are there any states without any one wetland present here that is recognized with the Ramsar? Okay, who is the authority that declares that conserves the wetland? These are the things you need to see for the wetland conservation and wetland protection. Okay, we'll see later on. Okay, see, this is the one more point. Wayanad Sanctuary, this also I have discussed, has highest tiger population, yet it is not declared the tiger reserve because locals are opposing this. You can use these case studies in the environment. Okay, this is how you will fetch more marks. Next. Now we are moving towards the eastern coastal plains. So we will see the first one, northern part, Utkal coastal plains are called the Orissa plains, and then we move towards the Andhra coast, south of the Orissa till Pulicat, then this is called the Andhra coast. Then here itself, it includes the Godavari and Krishna delta. You need to see one more important premise, but already that has been asked is between Godavari and Krishna delta, there is a Kolleru lake. This is a freshwater lake. Earlier it was a lagoon. What do you mean by lagoon? Lagoon is nothing but the sea water. It gets enclosed because of, let's say this is a sea. Okay, this is a land. Okay, somehow sea water got enter here and it becomes trapped. Okay, so this becomes a lagoon. Okay, after a certain bit of time, let's say if this lagoon has been completely cut off from the sea, then it becomes a freshwater lake, as it is happening with the Kolleru lake. Okay, so what is the important sanctuary, wildlife sanctuary that is present near the Kolleru lake? In the same way, what is the important sanctuary that is present near the Chilka lake? These are the certain important things that are there in the news already. Okay, I'm trying to generate more questions so that you will be able to identify how to study the geography, how to link the geography and environment and current affairs. So I'm trying to generate your thinking capacity. So coming back now to one more few things. Okay, as I've already discussed about the Asiatic lions, modern size, and then relocation is being planned to the Kunho Sanctuary in the Madhya Pradesh. Then Wildlife Institute of India is doing a research study. Okay, this is a autonomous body under the Ministry of Environment. This is not a statutory body, not having any kind of legal backing. If it is having legal backing, then it is called a statutory body. It is a simply a autonomous body. It is also very important prelims bit. Now this is your lion-tailed macaque. Okay, some visual representation will help you to restore in your mind. So I have collected this thing. You can also just go through because of the habitat fragmentation and all. These animals are facing threat. These are endemic to your Western Ghats. This is your Malabar civet, critically endangered animal. It is also found in the Western Ghats region. So before ending up the session, so here itself you can also think about, as we have discussed about the relocation of the lion, can you think about such kind of relocation happened with the tiger? Where such kind of successful example recently where the tiger population is very less, but such successful example was happened in one of the national park. Okay, in the Madhya Pradesh region. Can you just put it out in the comment? That is a very successful example. Now other states are also trying to replicate such thing. And you remember that tiger and lion and elephant both are endangered. Okay, same kind of animal. These are endangered. And you can try out this question. Okay, consider the following. Environment Protection Act does not mention the eco-sensitive zones. And then eco-sensitive zones can help in achievement of the SDG goals. Which of the above are true? One only, two only, both, and none. Okay. Hope everyone are studying well in this quarantine time. Please utilize the time well. Do not worry about the exam and all. Insights is always with you. Insights always try to help the students. Utilize this initiative well. Okay. Happy studying. Take care. Bye bye.